Attention Central Georgia, it's that time again for the publication of the new 2015-16 Macon Middle Georgia Black Page. So you want to be a part of it because the theme is Make More Green in 2015. Call today, 478-464-0074 and find out how we can help you make more green in 2015. Oftentimes you can tell the effectiveness of an individual who holds a leadership position by what they initiate. Now, mistakenly, some people think that it's what you respond to. Well, it's okay to be able to respond to issues and activities and programs, but if you really, in many instances, want to make a change, you have to be proactive and initiate something. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, and I use that little introduction because I'm very, very proud of our commissioner, Mr. Tillman, who's my guest today, for initiating something that he saw there was a need for, and he saw it out there in the community. So he addressed it, but as a part of that addressing it, he initiated efforts. He felt like it was something that needed to be addressed and changed, particularly as it relates to a lot of young people and sometimes older people who at one point or another have gotten in trouble, and although they try to redeem themselves or correct the situation, sometimes the community, employers, organizations, governments, individuals are unforgiving. And because they have been arrested or have had a problem, then that stigma just rides with them the rest of their lives. And oftentimes they don't get to tell their story. They don't get a chance to say that, well, I've been rehabilitated. I understand that I made a mistake. I'm trying to make something out of my life. So Commissioner Tillman had an idea, came up with a thought, noticed that there was something maybe wrong with people being denied at least a chance to say, admit you made a mistake, but at least have a chance to say, well, guess what I did, or I have done after I made that mistake. I've gone to college, I've joined the church, I've volunteered ministries, I've volunteered in the community, I've worked with Meals on Wheels, and I've done a lot of things since then, to redeem myself and be a responsible, contributing citizen to society. So, thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, for doing that. Go ahead.
No mistake, and it's a pleasure to be here. And some have even joined the military.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
right.
on my veteran hat today. I was at the Veteran Administration office, visiting down in Dublin, trying to continue to educate folks on initiatives such as Banthebox. I appreciate you for thinking about inviting me over to share this initiative, because it is now what was a local initiative has now become a state initiative, Banthebox, because the governor now, by executive order, just 6 days later after Macon County passed this, and we told folks that we've been talking to the governor, folks were talking to the governor, and that any day the governor would eventually, by executive order, ban the box for the whole state of Georgia. And I'm sure some folks did not believe that. And first of all, let me share what Banthebox is. An initiative that is currently on government applications and many applications throughout the work community and the work environment, that simply asks the question, have you ever been convicted of a crime, or have you been convicted of a felony? And a lot of times people are eliminated. You don't get a chance to come if you check that box, yes. And some people would tell a lie and not be truthful about it. But even if you turn they're being turned away. They're not able to make it to the table, even for the interview. Now, I encourage them to take advantage of their first opportunity, their first chance. But I think this gives folks an opportunity to at least explain their situation and say, well, it was 15 years ago. It was 20 years ago. I now have a degree. I now am in the military. I've been married 10, 15 years. And that happened when I was a teenager, a young boy. And you don't often get a chance to explain that. It's simply your stereotype, or there's a stigma on you that, oh, you are an ex-felon or you committed a crime. And so Banned in the Box simply would say, you don't have to check that. It's not on the application. You get to the interview, explain to the employer, based on your qualifications, your skills, and your education level, do you qualify for this job? And then it's up to he or she to evaluate and say, oh, I didn't realize that was 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's,
I like that. We want to go a little more in depth with that. But let's take a break first. This is a call to action.
Call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing the Banthebox man himself, Commissioner Al Tillman. We'll be right back. We're back, and Commissioner Tillman was giving us the circumstances and the scenarios surrounding Banthebox. So now, let's be specific. At this point, which institutions or entities have banned the box?
Right now, Macon-Bill County, and with the governor's executive order, the entire state. And we need to take a look, our attorneys are taking a look at it, because you have to craft it, because on the government's application, we discovered that there was at least 4 questions that needed to be banned or removed. One saying, were you tossed out of the military for any reason? Have you ever committed a traffic violation as well? Those were on there. Have you ever committed a crime of any sort? So it was at least 3 or 4 that we saw in our application that needed to be removed. When this initiative first started, my whole thing is to look at resolutions and ordinances that can and will affect the entire community, just not one particular area. And I had no idea that these folks, this 9to5.org organization, was working on this initiative and many others. I ended up back on February 9th, is my birthday. I was in Atlanta probably till 11 o'clock that night, meeting with folks, talking to folks, because I was doing some government business, and then I was meeting with Banthebox folks and initiatives, and we were working it out in the midst of trying to get it banned also in Albany, Georgia. And I had the aldermen, they're called aldermen, not commissioners,
right,
or city council in Savannah. They were calling me and asking for information, and I was ready and prepared after we passed it and making bill to go to Savannah to help them. But like I say, who knew that quickly in 6 days? And I think with the publicity that happened in Macon-Bill County, the number of men and women that showed up to stand for Banthebox at the government center caught the governor's eye, caught his representative's eye, because in 6 days he was by executive order, banning the box for the whole state of Georgia.
Now that's for state jobs and jobs in Macon-Bill County, right?
Right. And for the whole state, but on the application, on his information that I saw, and it's on the governor's website, it says that you still cannot have a crime, or it's still mentioned, I think, in sensitive government jobs. So on sensitive government jobs, that box will remain on government jobs.
Okay.
But all others, it will eventually come off.
But I think it's important because some people tend to hear only what they want to hear. I think it's important that it's emphasized that you're not trying to pardon or forgive anybody. You're just saying if a person has made a mistake, at a minimum, but then there are several people out there. I teach at the Transitional Center.
Yes, sir.
And I know these guys get jobs, and I know many of them are good guys. So the essence of it is that you think that a person, even because we all have, one way or the other, throw the first stone. We all have at one point or another. So the essence of it is that everybody should have an opportunity, even those who even all of us who make mistakes should have an opportunity to explain ourselves.
Well, one of the things that some folks were using as a scare tactic or to say we shouldn't do this was the fear that, and they bring it up, well, we don't want someone that's hurt a child to end up working with us, a child molester or something of that sort. And the Banthebox initiative still says that an employer will do a background check. They don't do a background check. If you can afford to do a background check, most employers do a drug testing and so forth. And so what the Banthebox does, it says it doesn't excuse you from your crime or if you committed a felony and so forth. But what it does, it at least gets you to the table to explain your situation. I found where, because we work with trying to clear up records, expunge records and so forth, we found that people 30 years ago had a full pardon. And these things are coming up in their records. The GCIC, which is I think it's the Georgia Criminal Inquiry, last year in July of 2014, the governor signed an order where those things, if you've been arrested, but you haven't been convicted, those things no longer show up on your record as well. Because when people go in to get jobs, if you've been arrested for anything, because listen, anybody, your girlfriend, the boyfriend, anybody can get mad and just go and take out a warrant. And those things are showing up on people's record, and they had not gone to court and been convicted. And so with that new law as well, would not show up on people's record until they actually go to court and have been convicted of crimes. Also now, even law enforcement, they can't publish your picture. They have to go down, the news media, these pictures that you see today, they have to go down, sign a form, affidavit, and say they won't share it anymore. Because you had people like Buster Mugg that was out there making money and trying to say, a person hadn't been convicted but just arrested, on false pretenses, and you're putting these people's picture in a magazine and you're selling them, and everybody's like, oh, they was arrested for this, and you never hear.
That's been made?
Yeah. You never hear whether they've been innocent or guilty or whatever. It's just you saw it, and so they were making money. So all that stopped with that new law of banning that through the GCIC, and the governor signed that back in July of 2014 as well. So there's a lot of things that hinder certain segments of a community, and so I'm there to say on this new Make and Build government that these are some things that we can change to improve and give brothers an opportunity, and mostly men that have made a mistake and folks don't want to forgive them, to take advantage of your second opportunity.
Right.
But we want you to also take advantage of your first opportunity. But everyone deserves a second chance and a second opportunity to show that he or she is a productive citizen. And we have to offer that sometimes. And so those are some things that I try to put out there and pass. SB 440, 441. Let me tell you, the media in Macon, Georgia has not even picked up on this. During that same night of Banthebox, we also passed Senate Bill Senate Bill SB 440 441. It's a juvenile law for 7 deadly sins that, in the state of Georgia, you can arrest, and children are in prisons, life without parole, age 13 to 17, and it's over 2,000 in the United States. Everywhere else is about 20. Also, the two strikes law. Macon Bibb is the first municipality in the state of Georgia that has passed a resolution asking a local delegation to get rid of that law.
7 deadly sins.
Well, it's called SB 440 and 441. Both of them are together. Yeah, but 7 deadly sins. Those are juvenile laws that have been passed and for 24 years ago.
If you commit certain crimes,
right?
They call it a deadly sin.
Right. They charge you as an adult.
Charge you as an adult, and then you go to jail.
Right. But here's the thing: Governor Zell Miller, 24 years ago, along with Democrats and African Americans, passed that two strikes law, and that nobody thought it would stand. No attorney ever challenged it. It's unconstitutional. And let me show you something. Who gives somebody the right to say you can never go up for parole? You can never ask for parole. You can never be rehabilitated or redeem yourself. That's what the two strike law says. And so it's like life without parole, no parole. You can't even ask for parole. And these things like that, that's unconstitutional. And no attorney has ever challenged that. And the media and folks have missed it that we passed that on the same night.
Wow.
That's historic.
Wow.
That's bigger than Banthebox.
Wow.
And nobody's caught it.
Wow.
Nobody's
Well, that's very, very significant. And maybe we'll do another show on it very soon. Right now we're going to take a break. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing our commissioner, the one who initiates activities in the community to make a difference, Commissioner Tillman. We'll be right back. Attention Central Georgia, it's that time again for the publication of the new 2015-16 Macon Middle Georgia Black Page. So you want to be a part of it because the theme is Make More Dream in 2015. Call today, 478-464-0074, and find out how we can help you make more dream in 2015. Continuing our conversation with Commissioner Al Tillman here, talking about certain initiatives that he has brought forth to try to improve the community. As you know, we got a new consolidated government and much work is to be done. But I want to commend, everybody. It's a tough challenge and people are challenging it. But anytime you go from 20 members of a governing institution, a body, to 9?
9.
You go to 9, and then you got all these changes and all of these consolidation. I'm sure it has been a challenge to try to keep it moving forward. But from what I can observe, though with the challenges, budget and otherwise, things seem to be still moving forward. So what's on the horizon now as it relates to that, and what other initiatives are you going to bring forward?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank my colleagues. Could not do any of this stuff from Banthebox, a lot of initiative, without the support of the commission. Alex, I've been a community man, me for a long time, working in the community. So my whole idea was to come to the government and help the community. And I got here in the government and discovered that I had to learn about a $158 million budget. I had to learn about bonds. I had to learn about different departments and so forth. And so my idea and my plan of helping the folks in the community, is still there because I push entrepreneurship.
You got to help yourself first.
But you got to help yourself. You got to become knowledgeable.
About.
And so, in the near future, we have some tough decisions to make. We're supposed to cut this budget in this government by 20%. So you're talking about a number of things. Folks don't, the government doesn't make money or create money. All the money that comes to us is created from tax dollars. And so people don't want to pay more taxes, but they want all the services that they receive. And so how do you do that? And so those are some tough decisions coming up with the budget, because what folks consider non-essential items that need to be cut, those are items usually that they don't use, but somebody else uses. And so it's some tough tasks that's ahead of us, but we've got some great things that's coming. Lake Tobesofsky, we've got a water park that's coming. We got some great initiatives. We're building a number of splash projects from our recreation centers, fire departments. A lot of things are on the horizon. So this government probably votes together, I would say 95 to 98% together. And so you've not seen some of those antics that you saw in the old government. And so, and I tell folks, we're not going backwards, and we're continuing on. So if you're not on board, you may as well get on board, because we're moving. And so what we've got to do is continue to help those that need help the most. And we got to be a voice for the voiceless. And we've got to make some tough decisions. And I'm going to say this, and I encourage men and women that, if you've been there for a long time, we're trying to come up with ways and incentives to encourage what they call it attrition. But we need to partner together to create businesses and opportunities. The Five Guys Burger, the Firehouse Subs and so forth. Put your money together and create and start a business, because it's all about entrepreneurship. The government is not going to be in a position forever to maintain your job. And I did not get elected just to protect and say that I'm here just to make sure this person has a job. I'm here, want to protect everybody, but you want to make sure that the government is operational and running. And you protect the taxpayers' dollars. And that's first and foremost, is how do you protect the taxpayers' dollars? Because this government, like you say, doesn't run off water. And we can't go out there and make investments and ask for you to give us money.
Yeah.
So, if folks are moving, we want to encourage them to move back. Let folks know that this new consolidated government now, we have 160,000 people in our community that we're speaking with one voice. Right. Kumo Tires is spending almost $500 million to come here in our community. 460 to 80 $1 million investment. That property is probably going to be almost a half a mile long. 400 plus jobs, turning out 1 million tires. So guess what? Entrepreneurs, if you're thinking about a tire shop or a tire business, now's the time for brothers to be getting together doing that type of stuff. We need to start a tire shop, man. Kumo finna be turning 1 million tires when they're in full operation.
And you ain't got to pay no travel expenses, no freight. You just go pick them up. Speaking of business, I want to plug our business mixer, which is going to be Tuesday the 10th at Overtime. We do it every second Tuesday. And part of our objective is to impart more information about entrepreneurship. So if you're in business or if you're interested in going into business, then come by Overtime, Bar and Grill, every second Tuesday at 5:30. And for this week, we're going to have Mr. James Bumpers.
Dr. James.
Doctor, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Director of
Small Business
Affairs for the Consolidated.
And he baptized me.
Oh, did
he? He baptized me.
So, any parting words you'd like to say?
Well, we want folks to get ready for our District 9 cleanup that's coming the week of March 10th. And we're going to have a big dumpster out over in the Bellevue community. For 5 weeks, we're going to clean up that entire community. If you're in District 9 anywhere from Bloomfield to Vineville, we've got a big dumpster out that we're going to put at Munford Road in West Napier. Come and bring your trash and everything, and for 5 weeks, and let's clean up our neighborhood and our community.
Very good. You've done a phenomenal job.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations on initiating something.
Yes, sir.
You respond to it too, but the initiation is what's going to bring improvement in our community. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Commissioner Al Tillman of District 9. Keep up the good work.
Over to some positive things. What are some things that you feel like should be overshadowing some of the violence here in Bibb County?
Jobs. We need to find a way to get young people jobs. Recreation. I think sometimes an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So I think if we were to do that, that would help a lot. Programs and activities. Like we got a lot of family life centers here in Central Georgia. If some of these gyms and both school gyms and church gyms would open up to different programs, I think that would make a difference. Other gestures that show young people that we care, that we're interested in them, that we're not turning our backs on them, and that we understand hip hop. That hip hop is not necessarily bad. And sometimes it can be used to kind of influence young people. We just need to come together. I don't have all the answers, but I think that the answers are ascertainable.
They can come for the business networking.
They can come to the Overtime Bar and Grill on Final Avenue.
And what time is that going to be?
5:30, every second Tuesday.
Right, exactly. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you about the Black Pages, what are the links and phone numbers for that?
Yeah, we are located at 590 DT Walton Way. It used to be Cotton Avenue, right behind City Hall. Our website is www.makingBlackPages.com, and the phone number is 478-464-0074.
And before we get out of here today, tell them a little bit about the purpose of a call to action and what the purpose of this show is.
The purpose of a call to action, first of all, is give young people like you an opportunity to get more exposure to the community. And secondly, is to impart all kinds of information, educational, social, political, civic, you name it, economic, all kinds of information to the community to improve. The objective is to improve the community and make it a better place for everybody.
www.makingblackpages.com.
Central Georgia, it's that time again for the publication of the new 2015-16 Macon Middle Georgia Black Page. So you want to be a part of it because the theme is Make More Green in 2015. Call today, 478-464-0074, and find out how we can help you make more green in 2015.